Yo, this is welcome to Baselands Commentary. This your boy, G. Devan Smith, about to kick out something that need to be said. Commentary, if you want to have a name for it, it's talking about the Great Resignation. I call it the Great Reckoning. Okay, so we have employers out there whining about people don't want to go to work. But that's not true, though. See, here's the thing, right? What a lot of people fail to realize is that people want to get paid a decent wage so they can support their family, pay the bills, and kind of have like a decent life. But let me tell you what unethical capitalism does. It convinces people, and I can't believe there's people like defending these poor ass business owners who don't want to pay their people a living wage, or any corporation that don't want to pay the living wage, but expect them to help make maximum profit with minimum wage, or at least minimum wage. See, here's the thing, right? I'm going to keep this 100. And it hits me, even though I knew, but it really hit me this morning. I broke down crying, to be honest. I had issues with my heart. Put an ICD in. Plus, I got other issues that popped up in a short period. And I owe over $127,000. This is also with financial aid. Now, and you wonder how come what happened to my health insurance from work? Here's a little thing with that. I do have health insurance through my job, but it doesn't start till January, and I needed the operation sooner. You see what I'm getting at? And then on top of that, it's a high deductible either way. So either way, I'm going to be in debt. I wanted to try to get myself situated so I could retire when I'm 50. Not so much retire in a sense that I don't want to work anymore. I mean, I'd rather do stuff like this. Share commentary. Just doing the stuff I love to do, which I'll never retire from. But I can't do that now. I can't even marry my girl. Because here's one thing you got to understand. When you marry somebody, you also incur their debts. And if you love somebody, you don't want them to incur your debts. You got to handle your shit. But when the shit's out of your control and you're not working a decent wage job enough to keep up with the bills, but you're trying, you're doing the best you can. See, this whole Great Resignation thing, this shit should have started during Generation X. That's right. You heard me. All this shit should have started. The Great Resignation. We should have had the balls as a generation to say, look, I can't work at these jobs with these low ass wages. I got a family to feed. I want to get a house. But you can't even get a house now because the prices are astronomically insane. Then on top of that, the good old Wall Street, some of these hedge funds are also buying up whole communities so they can rent them out. So the chances of home ownership, which helps build in generational wealth, if you want to go that route, that's in danger. Now, let's talk about this Great Resignation. Mostly it's been happening in a service sector, but I suspect it's going on a lot wider than the media want to purport. Here's the thing, right? If you got a job starting at $17 an hour about 20 years ago, you're balling. You're balling. But if that same job 20 years later is still $17 an hour, you're not balling. You're struggling. Now, I'm in the Northwest. Okay, what are the expensive areas in the nation? I think last year was like number 6. Getting a raggedy ass apartment now is almost cost more than getting a house, you know. But some areas, they don't have enough houses to sell. A lot of these rich baby boomers, which is legit, a lot of these rich baby boomers don't want to give shit up. Then they want to talk about millennials and Generation Z. I'm siding more toward Generation Z because millennials, you need to go the fuck up. The oldest of you is getting ready to be 40. They are 40. There's something you need to go ahead and recognize. See, all this hype about millennials throughout the past 20 years is going to come out and bite you in the ass. They hyped millennials so much. They ignored Generation Z, which is fine. At first I was really irate, but it's fine now. It is not that a lot of us don't care, but too few of us care, really. That's our issue. We got idiots like Ted Cruz. We got to claim them because he's Generation X too. We got all these right-wing, far left-wing people. They're, going back and forth. But believe me, if you want real power, you go to Wall Street. We got billionaires willing to go into space, but don't want to help out their fellow man. But they're willing to take every single penny that we have. Look, personally, I don't want to be a millionaire. I mean, I want to have enough money so I can go live my life and don't have to worry about paying fucking bills. Or if I still have to pay bills, if I want to go to Hawaii and just get my mind on, I didn't. An old workmate of mine, Clint. He's from some islands over on the Pacific. He took a picture of himself in, on the beach, on his island and shit. And I'm like, fuck, I want to be there. I will post up another video about my experience in Hawaii and why I don't regard myself as a tourist. My mother's buried over there. I kind of view it as like a sanctuary. But a lot of these colonizers would like to exploit shit, and I don't want to go into that right now. It's not the video for it. The main point I want to say is I commend Generation Z for not putting up with this shit anymore. I commend them. Millennials, a lot of them need to shut the fuck up. Because they see what their grandparents see, which a lot of them are Generation X. And they know full well that baby boomers really fucked everybody over, but they're about to go kick the bucket in 5-10 years anyway. But the whole belief of this system, it is not just capitalism per se, because it's so easy to say it's all capitalism. It's unethical. It's greed. It's greed, and it's power. This is how come you never see me be a complete socialist, because why would I follow the teachings of a racist anyway? But the Great Resignation, I want to rename it as the Great Reckoning, as some articles have said, because it is a reckoning. All the shit that employers have done to try to maximize whatever profits they want to make at the worker's expense. I've got some views on it because everybody's worked through this shit. Benefits don't work if you can't afford to put money or food on the table. When rent is between $1,100 and $2,000 a month for a fucking 2-bedroom apartment, and you're only getting what, 19 something an hour? What the fuck is that? And people say, oh, you just need a better tip. No, that shit don't play no more. That shit don't play. And then there's still people who was broke as fuck still defend this kind of shit. There was this thing on Facebook, right? I'll post one of these days. I'll start posting this shit up. One of these people were like complaining about, oh, these kids usually leave, when they get out of high school with this job, and the job was spraying chemicals on lawns in Idaho. Say, how much? He said, it's double the minimum wage or some shit like that, right? But what's their minimum wage? If the minimum wage is only, $7.25 an hour, which is federal. Some states have more. Washington State has like, $13.60 or something like that. Gonna be like next year. But guess what? This shit still ain't enough. You need to make at least $25 an hour to get a fucking lame ass, run down, roach encrusted apartment. What's $13.25 and $13.60 an hour? I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, if I was living with my girl and I still had these issues in my heart that I had to go get a medical procedure done, and all this other stuff that come up I had to go to the doctors for. Motherfucker, I'd be homeless. Working $19.34 an hour and being homeless if I wasn't living with my girl. Pay rent and stuff. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise, like 19 an hour would be balling 20 years ago. But that shit ain't the case. Here's what I'm saying. Don't get upset when people don't want to go no longer want to work at fast food. Because all these motherfuckers that want to say, oh, it's just for teenagers and shit. Y'all never worked. I worked at fast food on my first job. That shit was, it was a thing. Dealing with punk ass customers that don't want to be patient, that, they see you trying to do the best they can and they want to be a bitch. And then have the nerve to say that, oh, that's just a kid's job, that's just a teenage job. You don't know the stress people go into to deal with your dumbasses. That's for the people who want to downgrade jobs. Oh, they don't deserve to have $20 an hour or $15 an hour because this fast food. Motherfucker, they're taking care of your dumbass. And it's so easy to punch down instead of fighting up. You don't want to screw up. You want to punch down because it's so easy. So instead of next time, you want to criticize people to have, who want to protest to have higher wages at fast food because they deal with a whole bunch of shit. And you're only barely making and you're at a heavy intensive labor job, but you're only getting $15-16 an hour. That's not the problem. That's not the problem of fast food workers. That's the problem of your corporation that you're indebted yourself to. Don't get on fast food. Don't get on these younger people, even though some of them really don't have a lot of work ethic, but some that do don't deserve to go through the shit that I had to put up with. Or millennials. I'm not even bringing in baby boomers, a lot of baby boomers in this respect, because a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, they have no fucking idea. Because they all thought about themselves in the late 70s and 80s. Don't give me that shit. But to the people, to the young people, you got the right idea. I give this another 2 or 3 generations before, or 2 or 3 more generations of beyond Generation Z, until we pretty much wiped out due to climate change anyway, because all the fuckery that we did over the past 100 years anyway. But until then, I hope there'll be more great reckonings or resignations, because prices are cost too much. So handle your shit, do the best you can, and start doing things on your terms, not no corporation's terms. Peace out.